Hello everyone, this is Andy from the Pixel Pup, and I'm here to talk about the video game soundtracks on vinyl that we've gotten here recently. Okay, so when I say recently, I mean since about August of last year. I think that's the last time I talked about any of these. We've picked up a couple since then, got some as gifts, so I love this type of stuff, and I want to talk about them, so let's go. Okay, this first one, if you watched our video from late last year when we went to GalaxyCon, you know I picked this up. It is Donkey Kong Country. It is a band called the Holophonics doing the soundtrack from the original Donkey Kong Country in ska form. Now, this isn't something I really go for most of the time. I really just want the soundtrack itself because I love video game soundtracks. But to see this, you know, in a bin at a con, and it wasn't that expensive, and it's got this fucking cool art on the front. And I like ska music ever since high school. And I love the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack. Like, I kind of couldn't pass it up. And it is a fun time. It's not the best music in the world, but hey, super cool vinyl right here. Okay, next is also something that I picked up at GalaxyCon. In that same bin, it is the Splatterhouse soundtrack, the first game. What I am unclear about is, I think it's the PC Engine TurboGrafx version. I did listen to it a lot around Halloween, because you can tell it is a Halloween-ass Halloween game. But yeah, it was in the bin, also not that expensive. I was like, I don't know too much about the Splatterhouse soundtrack, but I love that art, and it was getting kind of close to spooky season around the time, and I was just like, I have to get it. And man, yep, it's pretty cool. It's got this fun guy on the back. I forget his name. It's not Jason, because he wears the Jason mask, but it's not Jason. It's like Alex or something like that. The only really Splatterhouse game I played a lot of is Splatterhouse 3. It's one of the games that I used to emulate a lot when I emulated games on my very early PCs. I just played a lot of Splatterhouse 3 for some reason. But yeah, Splatterhouse. All right, next up is a Kathy pickup. She's sitting over there watching. It was part of a kind of a last chance sale that Limited Run was doing on their website around November. It is Beacon Pines. Now, this soundtrack I know very little of. It's like a lot of like, but that's it. Like just piano stuff and like guitars, like acoustic guitars. Very sparse, very atmospheric. Probably not a lot of striking melodies, but Kathy liked it enough to want to get the soundtrack, and she picked it up, and it came in like a week. The one that I ordered, the same time, took about 3 months. So they're all over the place with this type of stuff. But yeah, Beacon Pines, that's the Kathy game. That's the Kathy soundtrack. Add it to the collection. All right, next up is something I ordered a long time ago. I guess Limited Run and a bunch of other websites were doing the big Turtles soundtracks on vinyl, the 16-bit and 8-bit era specifically. And they released just about everything. And I picked up just about everything, including Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, with just about every single one of these games. If they have multiple versions are on the vinyl. So this has a Super Nintendo and the arcade soundtrack. Hyperstone Heist on the Genesis is basically a ROM hack of this game, but it had its own separate thing. I didn't get that, but I did get this because I love the Super Nintendo soundtrack so much. I don't really have that much fondness for the arcade soundtrack, except during the attract screen, it plays Pizza Power from the live-action Turtle tour that they did back in the day. I remember my buddy Brandon had a VHS cassette of them playing live and like meeting fans and stuff, and it was the weirdest thing. And I don't know what I thought about it, but now looking back on it, Pizza Power is a fun song, and it's a fun attract mode song for Turtles in Time because it really grabs your attention with the big kind of dun 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 dun. But yeah, the Turtles in Time, the Super Nintendo soundtrack is what got me hooked in the first place. If that's all it was, I'd be so happy. But it has the extra stuff in it, and I'm extra happy. So yeah, this Turtles in Time, so good. So this was kind of the last of the Turtles stuff that they put out from, I got it from Limited Run, like I said, a bunch of other places doing it. It is Turtles Tournament Fighters. Like I said, they have all the versions on here. So it's got the NES, Sega Genesis, and Super Nintendo version. I got this specifically for the Super Nintendo version. I love that soundtrack. I played that game so much. My brother had it. on the Super Nintendo, and I would play it when he wasn't around. I just loved it. The Raphael stage in the cafeterias, that's my favorite song. So freaking cool. But it has all of them up here, and you can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with that big rainbow art there. And I just love the art of the Turtles Tournament Fighters. Like, they're all kind of the same. Like, this art kind of sucks, but like the art that would be on the games, like that, they're all similar. Like, the turtle was just different. So like so like the Sega Genesis version had like this, but like Michelangelo, and the Super Nintendo version had like this, but like Leonardo. I think this is probably Leonardo. I think the Super Nintendo version has it Donatello. I'm not sure. And the person that they're fighting was different, but it still had that big turtle face, and I thought that was cool. Just a nice little continuity between all the versions. And yeah, I love the Super Nintendo soundtrack. The other two, I could take them or leave them. Like, I don't even think I really listened to it. I was just like, I just want the Super Nintendo version. Let's go. Yes. All right, next up was something that Kathy wanted. Is Dead Cells Volume 2 soundtrack. I did some research on this. This is basically the soundtracks of a lot of the Dead Cells DLC. I think what she really wants is the original soundtrack for the base game, but it is very expensive. I guess they only did one little print there, and now it goes for like what, $500 on eBay or something stupid. But it has just a lot of the DLC soundtracks, and it's done by the same guy who did the soundtrack for the original game. And it has like a lot of they call them demakes, and they have some remixes too. I heard her listen to it, and I was like, man, that sounds like Dead Cells to me. I don't know. She got way further in Dead Cells than I did. Didn't really play a lot of the DLC, but we do own the Dead Cells Return to Castlevania Switch physical version, which I believe has the it definitely has the Return of Castlevania DLC on it. I think it has every single other one on it as well. So maybe she can pick up the pieces of where this music comes from by playing through that at some point in time. But yeah, Dead Cells is cool as hell. I should play Dead Cells. If you haven't played Dead Cells, it's good. I'm bad at it, but it's good. All right, next is something that I picked up after Christmas. I'd picked up the Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers edition on the Switch, and I was Chrono Cross pilled. I was like, man, I love the soundtrack. There's a vinyl version on the Square Enix store, and I waited till after Christmas, and I was like, I'm just gonna buy it. I want to buy it. I want to have this soundtrack, and I didn't really look into it at all. I just bought it, and I should have looked into it because it is the Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers edition, and it's only one vinyl, only 8 songs, and they're kind of like reinterpretations. There's like some vocals in them and stuff like that. I don't really like it. I was kind of disappointed. I just want I want Square to give me, I will pay the $100 for 4 vinyls with just the entire soundtrack from the PlayStation 1 version of Chrono Cross. I love that soundtrack so much. But it is what it is. I should have done my research. I should have done just a little bit of digging. Just a little bit. I would have found out immediately, but I didn't. I didn't at all. I just bought it, and you pay the price when you make mistakes. But I still like the Chrono Cross soundtrack. This still has, the bones of it, so it's still near and dear to my heart. And I love Chrono Cross. I love the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack better than the game, actually. This is the vinyl that I ordered during the limited run, final sale, whatever, get rid of that stuff that they did back in November that I just got last week. She got hers in like 6 days. I got mine in 3 months. I don't know why, but it is Arzette Jewel of Fairmore. I remember when they put this game out originally on the limited run store, they had the vinyl too, and I listened to a little bit of the music, and I was like, should I get the vinyl? I'm not sure. And none of the music really struck me, but after I played the game, I was like, man, I love this music. It's got this weird vibe to it that I very much enjoy. I was pretty much determined to pick it up at the limited run store whenever they had it in stock. If y'all don't know, Limited Run did publish this game, so I was like, man, they're gonna have the game there. They're definitely gonna have the soundtrack there. Like, they basically own this game. It's gotta happen. I've never seen it there, and when it was on the last chance type of buy it now, whatever thing, I was like, I have to get it, and I did. it just took a long time to get here. I just love this soundtrack so much. It's very early 90s multimedia. Like if you had a PC back in the day that you could watch Encarta videos on, you know, and it just had weird music, just bizarre. And they captured it so well and made it good as well. Just what a fun time. Arzette, fun time. Okay, last one here, and it's a big one, is actually a gift from our fellow Pixel Pub compadres, Shelby and Josh. They got it for me for Christmas. It is God of War, but it's both God of Wars. Am I holding that the right way? Yeah, God of War Ragnarok and the original God of War, the 2018 reboot. The soundtrack's by Bear McCreary? Sure. So it's got both soundtracks up here, or at least snippets of them. I bet it's not the entire soundtrack, but it has the stuff I really want on it, including my favorite song on the of all of the games, God of War. It is Giantess of Ironwood. I love that song. It's when you first go to like Jotunheim, I think that's what it's called, where you meet the girl when you're playing as Atreus. I think that's his name. I'm bad with names. You go to her realm and it plays this fun music, like a fun like a mandolin playing or whatever. It's such a good time. It beat out my favorite God of War song of all time, which is Isle of Creation from God of War 2 on the PS2. I'll still listen to that song to this day. It's so good, but this one's better. The whole soundtrack is fun. It's got a whole lot of like fun, like Norse melodies with a lot of like fun rustic instruments. It's just such a cool thing. Thank you, Shelby and Josh. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to go listen to it right now because that's all of them. That's the last one. It's the last vinyl. Okay, so that's been the video game soundtracks on vinyl that we picked up over the past 6 or 7 months here. If you watch this video and you see what we're into and you have some suggestions, I'm always looking out for video game soundtracks on vinyl, but there's so many companies that put them out, it's hard to keep up. And things pop up and I miss them, and then they're out of stock and I feel bad. But if you see anything like that would scream, hey, they might like that, send me the link, put it in the comments below. Let me know your favorite video game soundtracks, whether on vinyl or not. It's all a good fun musical time over here at the Pixel Pub. Anyway, please like and subscribe, all of that fun stuff. I've been Andy from the Pixel Pub. Peace out.